So first off, I want to welcome everybody for joining today. This is the first presentation and webinar that we're putting together on how to deal with the coronavirus outbreak. We're in uncharted waters in a time none of us are really expecting and prepared for. So within Virtuagym, when this started happening, we decided it was a crucial moment for us to bring together some internal and external resources and try to provide as much information and guidance as possible during this time. So I hope that everybody finds the information that we're sharing today useful and beneficial, and it can help you during this time. So we're also hosting these webinars in 5 different markets and languages. So if you have anybody you think of who's interested in Spain, Germany, the Netherlands, France, UK, we're also hosting webinars for them as well, so that this way, we can help our customers and people around the world. So as far as what we have set up for us today, there are 4 of us. So I think everybody here at least knows me, Kalen. Syncing up from the Virtuagym side in the US market. Also joined today by Al Wilson. Al Wilson is joining us as well, owner of RIPP City Fitness. Additionally, Junior Leoso, who is the owner of Pacific Beach Training. So, and lastly, of course, Hugo Braam, our CEO here at Virtuagym. So it's going to be from our end as well. As far as the agenda for today, what we want to do is just really put out and create content and put it out there so that this way we can help everybody and leave everyone with topics and points that's going to make us come out stronger from this. And so, some of the things that we want to do is spend some time giving everybody a sense of what is the information that we currently know and what's happening in across the global markets. How can we learn from some of the countries that are further along than the United States and Canada? And then additionally, how we can be solutions oriented, whether it's digital solutions or more internally focused with the business, how we're dealing with membership requests and pause requests and other things like that. And so what do we currently know now? So obviously the pandemic is an enormous risk, not just to the people's health, but also to our healthcare systems. And so it's important to follow the advice with the intention of flattening the curve. And so this is what we're trying to do globally. However, there's also the business impact of this as well. And so today, what we wanted to share is really how this relates to what we're saying are the 4 phases of how this is going to affect the businesses. So stage 1 is confusion. So this is the beginning. People are looking for direction and guidance. The situation is occupying everybody's mind, and we're just all looking for information and news. And emotions at this time can range from anywhere from panic to complete indifference. So that's the first phase. Phase 2 is accept and adapt. So this is the phase that we're in between right now, going between them both, where people are now starting to accept this as the new reality, as a temporary situation. So life kind of feels normal again, although it's not, although there's a lot of uncertainties during this time. And so the emotion in this phase is, that we're all going to get through this together. And so as far as some of the things to be careful with during this phase here, and in these 2 phases, and what we've also communicated to our staff here is that Virtuagym, we're telling our staff this, Virtuagym may not be the top thing that's top of mind for customers. And because of that, it's important to make sure that you're being conscious of what are the personal and professional implications that people are having as a result, and don't push topics that are beyond their comfort zone at this time. And the same is going to be true for the studios and gyms that are out there. You may not necessarily be top of mind for them right now, because who knows what they have going on with their situations at work, as well as personally at home. And so going beyond this phase is the preparing stage, where this is at the point where we're going to have a decent sense as far as where the economy is heading. Are we going to a point to where the economy is gonna resurrect itself? Are we potentially heading into direction of a further financial crisis. And here's where companies will start strategizing the post-COVID-19 era. So in this phase here, it's important to make sure that we're thinking ahead and making sure that we're not hanging on to the COVID-19 story for too long. Also, don't go back to the 2019 habits as well. So, and then finally, the last stage is going to be ramping up. So organizations at this point here are going to have a clear sense of goals and directions. We'll look beyond just short term and start looking towards implementing long-term solutions as well. So at this point here, some of the things to be careful with is don't wait too long to enter the game again. This piece is area here that we have to be looking now also as new standards in the industry. So some of the things that we've been speaking about as well, where people's minds are going to have brand new standards are going to be things like sanitary standards within the facilities, what they're going to be expecting as far as how a facility should be cleaning and maintaining, as well as other things that we anticipate could potentially come out as a result. So those phases for business stages of COVID-19 are places where each country is at a different place, and because of that, we're moving slowly through all of these different phases. So in the United States, we're going from the confusion to the accept and adapt phase. If we look at countries like China, who are the furthest along within this process, lockdown started 8 weeks ago, and so it took them from going from confusion to preparing 8 weeks. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the same for the United States. However, it serves at least as an example. And this slide here is for Hugo. Hugo, are you in as a moderator, Hugo?
I am. Yes. Hi, everybody. Did we do an intro on everyone? Maybe we should. I see Al and Junior also joined. Maybe Al, you could start with a quick introduction on yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Al Wilson. I am owner of RIPP City Fitness. I'm located in Twinsburg, Ohio. Looking forward to speaking with you all.
Yes. Junior?
What's up, guys? Junior Leoso here, San Diego, California. We own and operate Pacific Beach Training. So we're looking for some help here, some solutions.
Good. Well, great to have you guys join this panel. So my name is Hugo, CEO of Virtuagym. I'm based in Europe, and as Kalen just mentioned, we are slightly ahead of the curve compared to the US. Our office is in the Netherlands, which typically, if we look at the south of Europe, they're even a bit further ahead. And what we're seeing that Southern Europe is currently in a complete lockdown. You may have heard the horror stories of Italy, for example, where they've been dealing with a lot of infections, the intensive care units being overflown, having to decide on who's going to live and who's going to die. Really sad stories. Here in the Netherlands, we have there they are in full lockdown. Here in the Netherlands, we have a semi-lockdown, meaning that basically all clubs, like fitness clubs, are closed. The bars and restaurants are closed, but shops are still open. People are allowed to go on the streets, but are requested by the government to remain inside. Most of them are listening to it. So it's really, I live in the red light district of Amsterdam, where there's usually a ton of people. And now for the first time in the 12 years that I live here, there's nobody on the streets. So it's remarkable. So yeah, a lot of stuff. It has a big impact. So let me just start also first with that yeah, we are very considerate and feeling with you in these challenging times. I think it's the restaurants, of course, the travel industry, but I think the fitness industry is one of the industries who are feeling this very hard. So let's just try to make the best of it. Yeah, we are trying to be here for you to help out with information and tools. Yeah, so now in Europe, our government has said here in the Netherlands that the clubs have to be closed for 3 weeks for now. But looking at what's going on in China and also Italy, we expect, to be honest, that this will take longer, and that they won't be allowed to open up again early April, but that this will take at least 2 months. And even then, yeah, we'll have to see how it evolves and which type of business will allow to open, etc. Luckily, within the Netherlands and many European countries, government has already come over with extensive government help packages for businesses. So we're getting tax breaks. We don't have to pay loan wage taxes. They're now talking about not having to pay vacation money, which is usually paid out in May, which is an extra month. They're coming with the Netherlands has a specific rule where if your staff is sitting at home, the government will already pay up to 90% of their wages if they can't do any work anymore because and your revenue has dropped significantly. So that's very helpful for the gyms here. So far we're hearing that that gyms don't have to fire their staff, which is of course very good news. Yeah, I think in the end, what we're really hoping for is that they find the cure will wait for a long time, but if they would find medication which would help the need for intensive care, because that's currently the biggest problem, the limitations on the intensive care units. If that would be there, then probably they will open up and let go of the lockdown. So let's hope for that. Could we go to the next slide, please? Yeah, so I think the main takeaway here is, hey, at this point, the businesses have to close down, which is basically very serious. It's a threat for everyone's livelihood, a lot of jobs at stake. And there's a lot of and the challenging part is really nobody really knows how long this is going to take. Yeah, and I think that's making it extra scary, so to say, for many business owners. But I think that also yeah, again stresses the importance of coming up with a good strategy on how to prepare yourself for this situation. Maybe Al, could you share a bit on what you've been doing so far to kind of in reaction to the first news and how you've been dealing with this?
Certainly. For RIPP City Fitness, our biggest thing has always been connection anyway. So we've had clients who've lived in other cities, and sometimes it starts with that person that you're training and they move out of town, and you want to know how do you maintain that relationship and keep them motivated and on task. So we've always had an online component, whether it was video personal training, making sure that we use Virtuagym as a mobile app and all the components in it. So it might have been program design and some of those other things that you can do through the app. So for us, it was more of a quicker pivot to transition all of our personal training clients, for example, over to one-on-one or small group live training sessions. And the approach that we took was really, we still want to keep you in your routine. With everything going on around us that we really can't control, this is one of those things that we can control. We might change how we connect, but we still need to connect. We still need to interact, and we can keep you on task, hitting your goals, and focus on that thing that you can control, which is staying active. So we're able to make that transition and keep people going. And we recently just introduced more of a workout on demand type service that's right in the app. So they can take advantage of hundreds of streaming workouts for even things that we're not able to offer in-house: yoga, meditation, HIIT workouts, you name it. So they have a choice of what they can choose to stay active, because some people may not have equipment at home.
Yeah, and are your members automatically getting this service, or is this a separate service that that is additional?
It's a combination of both. We took our current members and we offered that service to them for free, just as a complimentary way to keep them active, to keep them engaged, and to keep that relationship in the community. But we also extended that to non-gym members as well for a fee per month, because each person that we service knows someone else who's in the same situation. They've got a sister out of town or somewhere else, and they're all having that conversation anyway about, okay, so your gym's closed too, what are you doing? So we'd rather be the person on the front end of that saying, talk to your sister about it. Tell your brother who's, not even in college anymore, about a service that you're using to keep them active. So we're offering it to them for a small fee for non-members.
Mm. Yeah, and then how long did the process take then in order to go from not having a digital offering to having something? I know a lot of people, who don't have any digital services set up are probably trying to figure out how they can do this quickly because they need this now. What would you say is a realistic time frame that they, with everything that went into it from your end, is possible?
For us to really expand on it, a day or two, really about 2 days to do that. We were up and running in 2 days.
Wow, really fast. What is a 2-day turnaround process look like then?
It looks like a lot of conversation, one-on-one phone calls, messages, whether it's text, it's, we want to keep you in your routine. What equipment do you have at home? And we just set it up as a process. So what do you want to know? What do they have at home? Do they have the space? Where are they at mentally? What are they dealing with? And we made that pivot to say, all right, here's what we can do to keep you active. And we can meet online. This is what the process looks like. For those people who weren't very tech savvy, we said, all right, let's have a little test run before your first session. Let's log on, walk you through the process, make sure you can see me, I can see you, our sound is good, because everyone's got a different device. So it was nonstop for 2 days, making sure that everyone was ready for their first training session. But it was fun.
Was it as smooth as for Al with you, Junior?
We actually got a question really quickly for you, Al. People are asking, how much are you charging non-members for accessing the video on demand?
$15 a month.
15.
Yes, 15.
Okay. So how was that for you, Junior?
Pretty similar. So gearing up for this inevitable change, we kind of jumped the gun 2 weeks ago and tried to find a way to maximize the app, because we had a pretty good sense this was coming. Fortunately and unfortunately, we have a handful of clients from Italy specifically. One of my trainers is from Italy. She's a pro fighter and she happens to be here. So we kind of knew what was coming. So we were planning for the worst, and unfortunately we're here. So we just started implementing the online services for our existing classes. So we offer about 4 or 5 group training classes in the gym every day, Monday through Sunday. And we just went ahead and started streaming those online. So before our soft lockdown happened here in California, we still had people showing up to the gym, and we were just live streaming those actual live classes. And so once the time came where nobody was allowed to come into the fitness facility, we had probably about 10 days or so under our belt of already streaming through the Virtuagym app. So in that sense, we were lucky enough to have some foresight, and it was a pretty smooth transition, I'd say. The hardest part so far has been to get the buy-in, right? We have a pretty extensive member base, and if I could go back, or if I could tell somebody who's going to start doing this now, I would preemptively start reaching out to clients to curb the cancellations or account freezes that are inevitable when you move to online. For a handful of people, it's going to be their scapegoat, to say, well, this is my time to cancel my gym membership. and you just have to be prepared for that. For others, it is a real and true technological issue. And for that, I wish I would have, before launching, I wish I would have set a couple of how-to videos that I would have done on my phone myself and sent out to my member base. That would be a huge help. So for any of those guys that are gonna do it, that would be one of my tips for you.
Thanks so much. So maybe in between, guys, I'm seeing a lot of questions coming in through the chat, which is great. If you want your questions to be answered diligently by our team, please use the Q&A box below. That's where all the central questions will come in, and then they will eventually be definitely answered there. If you have any tips or questions for the other participants in this session, you can do that in the chat. But please make sure to change the drop down on the right in the chat where you see below to, from all panelists to all panelists and attendees. So then everybody can see your post. So yeah, I'm seeing some questions coming in also regarding live training sessions and streaming. Junior, maybe you could explain how you did this technically.
So I've already done about 7 of them today. I've got 7 sessions in the books, including 2 group classes. And the simplest way that I could find to leverage the app was to use the marketing component in the app and leverage the banners, the marketing banners on the bottom of the mobile app. So we set up really quickly just using Zoom, Facebook Live, and some of the other guys were using Instagram. But Facebook Live and Zoom offered the opportunity to have the shareable link. So we created a couple of banners, made them real sexy, made them nice and hot, took photos of the trainers for our boxing class, for a HIIT class, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and linked those with the applicable Zoom link. This way, when the members open the app at the very bottom banner, when they click that our branded logo with our branded coaches, it took them right to the Zoom meeting space. So for them, it was actually seamless. And on that note, one of the hiccups that we learned about in the beginning was the necessity for people to have to sign in or create a username and password. And for some people, that's just one more speed bump. So I would go back into the Zoom if I were you new guys, and I would take off all of those blocks and borders, any password requirements, any waiting rooms, any of that stuff, so that when your clients click on there, they're right in there, right from their phone. We sent out a how-to video about 4 days ago to use the desktop, because the workouts on their phone were cool, but not as cool as from your desktop computer. And what was surprising to me, and this is our fault from the management perspective, is a lot of our clientele had no idea how to even access the desktop version, just because it's never been something that we've even talked about. It was not a need. So it definitely opened up a lot of space. The live training has been going great, especially now that you have a quiet gym. You know, I was telling Kalen, our gym floor space is looking like a Hollywood set. You know, we've got tape for where to put your feet, and we've got markers where coaches can talk together so that we're not out of frame anymore. But it's definitely possible, and it's definitely doable. I am not the most tech savvy guy, and it was something we could set up in a couple hours.
So which technology do you use, Al? Are you also using Zoom or YouTube, or what's your setup?
Yes, we're also using Zoom. And just to kind of, you know, talk more about what Junior was saying, that the tech savvy part was one of the biggest things, just avoiding those technical issues. And in the beginning, when it was one-on-one, it's a lot easier to kind of take care of some of those technical issues. But when you have a group, having those how-to videos and instructions definitely helps. And giving them the idea, like having a desktop or even an iPad is going to give you better audio quality. The steps are a little bit different versus trying to use your phone, because sometimes it's hard to hear them. You know, the audio quality issue when using a smaller device. So yeah, it's definitely been better now that we've given them more instruction, how to get in, taking off some of the restrictions so they can just get right into the workout, and then setting the stage like we always do. And, you know, once someone's moving and active, they almost forget that you're not there. So.
Well, I think it's great to see kind of the creativity that's being shown to come up with these solutions in these challenging times with using stuff like the marketing banners to link that to a live streaming solution. I personally learned from one of our key account managers here in Europe that they advised one of our clients in Europe, a large gym chain, to use YouTube live streaming function combined with the scheduling solution. So what they are doing is they make the group fitness schedule just as they would usually do it, but then added the activity information of each class and put the YouTube video link of the live stream link in the YouTube video link of that activity. So what happens then, they basically can build up their whole schedule. Let's say like 9 a.m. Zumba, 10 a.m. Pilates, and then the member can just open up the schedule, tap on the activity and press play, and that will then get them to the live streaming solution. They can show it full screen on the app, or even cast it also to their TV. So I thought that was also an interesting option. So yeah, I said multiple ways to get to Rome in that sense. So maybe Junior, can you tell a bit about the reception of members? Was there a positive response, and how are you dealing with kind of your memberships? Are you charging the same?
Yeah, so far so good. We're being really lucky. We've definitely had our fair share of account freezes, and that's totally acceptable. We have a large population here of military and hospital workers. I'm a few blocks from the beach, and we're surrounded by the military bases, San Diego, and we're surrounded by a lot of the biggest hospitals here. So our gym population has a big influx of the Marines, Army guys, Navy guys, and nurses. And ironically, or maybe not ironically, the nurses were the first to freeze their accounts because they felt like they were going to be the biggest threat to the community. Other than that, the community as a whole has been phenomenal. That's a testament to the staff here and to the coaches. They have been more than willing to help out. We had set up a equipment loan system. So what we did was we set up a Friday, Saturday, Sunday where they came into the gym, and for a refundable deposit, our clients were allowed to come here and pick up the gym equipment that was applicable for their house. So currently we're running very slim out there on the gym floor. We've got a handful of kettlebells for demonstrations, a handful of gear, which is really cool. But the reception has been amazing. And, you know, a lot of well wishes from the clients. I think people understand the deal. We are still working on putting our incentive package together. That incentive package is going to include a soft price reduction as it goes on, as if this continues. It also includes all these services that we offer here. So the private lessons, semi-private lessons, and some of the nutrition things. We're going to be giving those away as a perk for everybody that stays on. And I think what we're going to do is at the end of the month, we're going to send out the incentive package and label it as a thank you incentive package. And maybe every month we'll continue to grow on that as needed, just to give people a thank you, really, because, you know, they're helping us as much as we're helping them at this point.
Yeah, that's very interesting that you say this, because that's what I've also been seeing with some of our customers in Europe, that proactively, without being asked, members were posting messages in the community of the app saying, please keep charging my memberships. I want to support you. I want to make sure that you can keep trainer X and Y employed. So there's a lot of solidarity going on. And so I think that's also good as a business owner to realize that you should not be afraid to ask for that support. And I think by giving them a digital alternative, you're making it easier for members also to say, hey, I'm still able to work out. Why shouldn't I just keep paying my membership fee?
Yeah, we also, as a to help with cash flow for the next coming weeks, we got together with some of the more senior staff here, and we got a list together of some of our longtime members and people that we trust. And we offered a discount for a prepaid membership for the remainder of the year. We were able to get 9 of the 10 people to do that. So we came up with a list of 10 people between 6, 7 coaches that we agreed upon. And we decided that we'd offer them this discount to prepay until December. And 9 of the 10 people did it. The one person that did not is just keeping their membership. So we didn't lose any income. They just decided to stay on the monthly and keep the full rate.
Wow. That's impressive. Some really good ideas there that people can get inspiration from. Thanks for that. Al, did you also experience people kind of freezing or canceling their memberships? And could you perhaps give an insight on what percentage you've had so far? If it's like too confidential.
No, it's definitely not too confident. It's been more of what Junior said. Everyone has been very supportive. They're like, we want to support you. They were willing to transition their personal training sessions either online. And some of them have said, you know, because of what they do for a living, they work for the federal government or different things. Their schedule is haywire right now, but they want to keep what they have. People have offered to pay in advance for personal training for, you know, a really deep discount. And it's been a lot of that, working with them more one-on-one for the people who've been with us for years. They want to see us get through this. I mean, this is like home away from home for them. So it's been a lot of support and a lot of working together. I haven't had anyone come to me so far. I'll find some wood to knock on, but and say, I want to freeze my membership. You know, they may not be able to continue some personal training. We've definitely had some of that. Or some people who weren't necessarily comfortable with the one-on-one online personal training, but no one has frozen their memberships yet.
That's great, really impressive. Do you think that maybe there could also be kind of an important factor, kind of the type of fitness business you have? I can imagine like the smaller membership base and the more personalized your service, that you have like a stronger connection with your members, that will create a higher amount of solidarity compared to a more big box type of facility?
Yes, that's definitely key. I was a personal trainer solo for a number of years, and people would always say, Al, you need your own gym. So once I got to that point, everyone that I trained came with me, and then they brought more people with them. So we've always had more of that family community feel, and that's one of the main reasons why people are saying we want to support you. We want you to continue to provide us with the services that you've been providing us with, because again, we're more like family.
Getting a question in from Car, he's asking, or she, I'm not sure, what your monthly membership fees are.
Well, for me, it's a little bit, it's tiered. So you got singles, of course, joints and families. The singles are more like 35, but I also have an option for 12-month contract. And then there's a month-to-month option as well. There's an annual prepaid option. So it gives them some flexibility. We're actually in a township area as well. So there's a smaller township that will actually pay a percentage of our members' fees or dues for the month or for the year. They'll pay up to like $250, but we have to bill them in 6-month or 12-month increments. So that gives people a discount already just for living in that particular area. So.
Junior, maybe you can shed some light on your fees to get an understanding in what kind of zone you are with your offering.
Yeah, so our group memberships go in 3 tiers as well. $100, $200, and $300. So the $100 version allows people open gym access, plus they get 8 group training workouts per month, which seems to be a good one for a lot of the guys that like to travel. For an additional $100, they get unlimited open gym plus unlimited group classes. And then for the top tier, for the another $100, they get unlimited open, unlimited group, plus 1 private session every week. So they get a half-hour private session with a coach. So this seems to be the most popular version. This was the hybrid version of the personal training and gym membership that we had started about 5 years ago. And I should have made a program out of that, because I see that guy online making $1 bazillion off of my program now on Instagram all the time. I missed the boat.
Well, it seems you had some foreknowledge already from Italy, so you shouldn't complain there. Okay, Kalen, maybe you
Awesome,
can just continue the presentation. So we're not
Yeah, thank
running
you
out of
guys
time.
so much for sharing your experiences. I know that that's super valuable for everybody. And so, as far as going into the next section of the presentation, here's where we provided a bit of an overview about what we think it's going to look like from the business perspective. Now we want to talk about what it's going to look like from the member perspective and what member faces are going to look like. And so what's being discussed right now is it'll go in 3 phases. Phase 1, a reduction in exercise, which already is happening across all of the different states in the world. I think you saw it a little bit earlier, Junior, when you started to have the nurses and that be the first ones in order to start reducing their exercise and request the pauses, and then that then leads into the isolation phase or those government shutdowns. And then the last phase is going to be going from that isolation to returning and getting them into the facility itself. So going through each of these different phases is going to have its challenges. So if your state or your country is in the spot right now where it's simply just reducing exercise, the important thing to do right now is 1, communicate with your active members. If you're planning on staying open and it's possible to, let them know that. Let them know that your facility is open. It's okay to come in. Let them know the rules around that. And additionally, communicate with them what standards you're taking regarding how you're keeping the environment clean, safe, and sanitized for them if they're able to come in. Additionally, in this area, it's important to realize that the people who are most at risk are going to be the people who come in right around 4 to 8 times a month. The people who come in 12 times a month and that, they're great. I mean, those are going to be the ones where after this situation is come and gone, they're going to come back because they have that rhythm, they have that loyalty. But if they're in that 4 to 8 section, if they dip below that 4 spot, then they become risk of potentially being members who won't come back. As far as the second phase, isolation and government shutdown, here's a piece where it's important to do 2 things. 1, provide them with a coping mechanism. We've talked about a couple of them already. Live streaming the classes, pre-recorded classes that they can have access to. If you're doing one-on-one personal training with customers, also do it a one-on-one. Use potentially free systems out there like Facebook Messenger, Google Hangouts, in order to be able to take the things that you were doing in person with them and bringing that online. And also a lot of creative things we were talking about as well. Same thing when it comes to programming. So utilizing common household items like chairs for incline push-ups and other workouts. And then when it comes to the reinforcement of routines, this is where those routines are going to be important to get people back. So if you have your member who comes in Monday at 7 o'clock p.m., it's important to make sure to keep that routine with that member at Monday at 7. Make them do their program at home because you want to make sure that they can continue to do that. The other thing when it comes to routines is we believe that a break in people's routines is also going to create an opportunity for people who don't have healthy habits. So there could be a silver lining here as well. Personally, I've seen it with myself. Now that I don't have to commute into the office, I have extra time where now I'm filling that time with actually doing a workout from home. And admittedly, I'm ashamed to say this, working in the fitness industry, I don't work out as much as I should. Maybe once or twice a week I'll do sports. But now during this time, while I've been personally on lockdown, has been the time where I've had most times that I've actually been working out. And that's going to be the opportunity as well for other people who are in similar situations across the state. If we can now take this broken rhythm that they're having within their personal lives, get them to introduce healthy habits. After this thing has gone over, those people can become people who can join our facilities on full membership as well. And then the last phase, phase 3, getting them to come back into the facility. The key here is going to be making sure that when you open your facility and open your doors again, people are going to want to know it's safe to come back. And so ways that you can do that is by showing them success videos of people who are working out within your facility, doing the exercises, showing them that people have come and then it's feeling good in order to work out. And then one thing that we heard as well, which is just what we really love and think it's great practice, is when they come back, they're going to be out of practice, and you want them to make sure that they leave feeling good. So drop the difficulty a little bit for each member. If they were coming in and running for 30 minutes straight, take it back to 25 minutes so that this way they're not burnt and feeling bad at the end of the workout. You want them to leave feeling good so that you can get them to come back.
Yeah, so I think in the end, in these challenging times, the main focus should really be to keep your existing members, keep providing value so they don't pause or worse, cancel their subscription with you. Maybe you can move to the next slide, Kalen. And then I think, why is that important? Obviously, getting in new members is just so much more expensive than existing members. But obviously, as mentioned before, at this time, nobody knows how long the closures are going to last. The estimates are going from 2 to 3 months, to some pessimists saying this might well even take 5 months, which let's hope it won't. But it also means that yeah, it's extra important to keep your member base in there, not just to kind of keep your revenue going now, but also when your facility reopens again, because obviously in this time it will also be a bit more challenging to keep selling to new members. So we can go to the next slide. So as a business hub, and then those people on the seminar who already know us, I mean, our offering is really about servicing gyms and studios to run their business, both from the billing, booking, and coaching perspective, primarily focused on running it in physical locations. But as we were realizing basically last week what the scope and impact of this was going to be for our customers, our product team and commercial department kind of got together and say, hey, we need to kind of change as a business basically overnight and really focus on helping you, our customers, serve their members digitally. So what we did already is we've developed a concept we now are calling Virtuagym at Home, which are basically a library of at-home workouts, which we've made available for existing customers in our standard workout library that's available. So if you don't have that currently set to active, you can set that up in your system settings under the tab Coach, and then from my heart client settings, where you have an option to set like club workouts, include the Virtuagym workouts. Then automatically those at home workouts will be available. If you're not a customer, you can contact us. We have a special offering where we have kind of like a simpler version of Virtuagym, we call Virtuagym at Home, as you see here in the app, that will allow your members to access the at-home workouts, and we won't be charging a license fee for that during this outbreak, only a one-time setup. Then as an optional add-on, we've integrated a video on demand. This was something that we were working on already, but now suddenly kind of became a big push because a lot of our European customers were also already asking for that. And that allows you to offer also streaming workout videos from the app. So the at-home workout plans, yeah, here you see an example. It basically allows you to offer your members to do workouts with the virtual trainer at home. And there's a ton of that. We have workouts with no material, so your members can do it with their body weight. We have workouts with dumbbells, with elastic bands, body and mind workouts that include more yoga type of exercise. So a lot of variety, and we will be adding to that in the upcoming days and weeks as well. So I think that's already a great offering to support your members to stay active ongoingly. And then, as mentioned, the video on demand, which we just launched, is an additional experience which basically provides, say, a Netflix of fitness integrated with your app, and allows your members to access all types of various workouts, being it yoga, Pilates, high intensity training, core exercises, etc., etc. I think there's even like dance and also kids activity in there. It's really cool. And together with the provider of the video on demand, we have like also now a special offer to be able to have it for free until June 1st, based on a year subscription, or you can choose to only offer it now for just 3 months instead of being stuck on a year subscription. So those are the options. Somebody's asking if the slides are can be sent over. Yes, we can definitely share the slides of the presentation. And somebody asked, how do you access the at-home platform? Does it replace the current app? No. If you're a customer, it really is integrated in your own app. It's all about setting it up in your business settings. So you go to your system settings, and then you can activate the Virtuagym default workouts. They're part of it. Yeah, if you're having trouble with it, you can contact our client success department. Now, other options to provide value through remote coaching to your customers. As mentioned before, I had the live streaming classes, what Al and Junior has also been doing, using the YouTube live streaming or Zoom as a solution. I think Zoom even has the benefit of two-way streaming. Guys, do you use the two-way streaming, and does it add to the experience?
Yeah, so that's the only way that we allow them to use it. That was kind of the trade-off, was in order for them to get in the class, they had to share their screen so the coach can check their form. This just keeps that accountability factor going. So absolutely, 2 ways for sure.
Agreed. You know, we tell them in the beginning before we start is, make sure your device is set up in a place where we can see you. We can see your feet. We can give you cues. Just like if you were standing in front of me, that's what you wanted to look like, so we can make sure you get the most out of your workout and your form is good.
Yeah. Okay. So another question is asked is, can you add your own workouts to the at-home app, or can you broadcast your own workouts on the on-demand? That depends. If you're using just the at-home as a new customer through the special offer, that's a light version, so that only offers the set at-home workout library that can be extended with the video on demand service. But if you want to develop your own workouts, if you want to do live streaming workouts, you need the standard Virtuagym license. That's not part of the special offer, so to say, the free offer of the at-home solution for new customers. Yes. So regarding how we were discussing before, like how are you dealing with your memberships? I think I was very positively surprised, guys, by your ability to have your members keep paying the regular subscription. So that really is a good thing, and I would definitely encourage everybody here to try that. But I think for that it's also important to keep talking to your members and to understand if they are willing to do something like that. We are also now advising our customers, and I would say then more the bigger box gyms that don't have as much personal connection, to be proactive about their memberships and start communicating that instead of charging your members with the full membership fees, already proactively move to a digital subscription at a discount. And this will allow you to keep generating revenue while your facility is closed. Of course, you also have lower costs. And then basically send them an email saying, hey guys, as our facility is closed, we can't offer you access to the physical location, but we are introducing virtual support. For this, we'll do that at a discounted fee of anything between 10 and 20 bucks, let's say. And that comes with like the virtual trainer workouts, streaming video classes. You could offer that framework to upsell the personal coaching. And this obviously allows you to keep generating revenue and also prevent having to let go of your valued staff, which I think is also important to do. Guys, how has that been for you? Were you forced at this point to let go of any people, or?
No, we're able to keep everyone that we have, and I've just really been encouraging them to continue to focus on their people. Like, you're still running your side of that training business. That's the biggest part. Stay engaged, keep in contact, keep them accountable, check in on your people like you always have. If they had a result check-in is what we call it. So if we train in like a 4-week phase and it's time for them to check in, update their progress, keep those appointments, keep your people in their routine, keep them accountable, and stay in touch.
Yeah, same here. We've been lucky enough to keep all the coaches. We have still all the same schedule, so until something changes, each coach will continue to teach their normal schedule.
Yeah. So that maybe shows even that your staff is key in kind of keep that engagement going with your members. So you can use the community for that. Of course, the streaming classes. I think it's well, very inspiring to hear that you've been doing that so successful and able to keep the jobs there. And I think as a final piece in the digital strategy is keep selling. As your doors may be forced to close, keep at least your virtual doors open. That means that depending on the type of solution you're using, have the ability for prospective members to already start purchasing your online offering, or at least if that's not something that you offer, make sure that you have a form that they can fill out to leave their information, so that after this outbreak and you can open your doors again, you can make use of the period where you were able to obtain those leads. But yeah, ideally try to convert them already in a digital membership, so you can generate the revenue and start engaging with them. So I think other tips and tricks that we're seeing other business owners doing is that they're talking to the guys at Live Fitness and Matrix and Precor for getting extensions on their dues for the equipment lease. I think it's very good to realize, and the same with the landlord as well. These guys are really depending on you to survive here, right? So leverage that also, because if you go out of business, Matrix is gonna be stuck with a bunch of secondhand gear that they don't want to have, believe me. So these are companies that have enough cash to be able to provide you with payment extensions. So make use of that to improve your cash flow. Is this something that you have done as well? Al?
I think Junior and I are kind of in a similar situation. We were in the process of like relocating our gyms. So one of the things that I negotiated in my lease was 3 months where I didn't have to make a lease payment. So it gave me some cushion to ramp up my business in a new location. And that was more of, I wanted to be able to put that money into marketing and advertising and actually grow in a new space without having to pay for the lease. So I was able to negotiate that. And, I didn't even know this was coming, but it's working out.
Good.
I personally don't have any more leased equipment. I've been getting after this since 2000. So I've taken the long lease road. I've slowly paid for all my stuff in here.
Good. Okay, next slide. As some people are saying, I activated the workouts, but it's not showing yet. You may want to have to kind of refresh, sync the application, which is typically done by closing it and then opening it up again, or going to your account settings and updating it. Can we go to the previous slide? Oh,
You still have some Dutch in there.
are there? Yes, that's my my fault. Yes, I think finally, for those people who found this, yeah, no, you can go to the next slide, Kalen. This seminar valuable. We are looking to do this more often on a regular basis. As said, there's a lot of uncertainty going on currently, and I think it's important that we keep updating each other ongoing and sharing experiences. I think it's been super valuable to have Al and Junior in here to tell us about what they are doing to deal with this. So thanks so much, guys, for your time and contribution there. It's been amazing.
You're welcome. It's good to hear some of the other things that are coming through the chat as well. Helpful tips.
Good. So what we'll also be doing is setting up a community on our platform for all gym and studio owners interested that have joined today. We'll be sending out a form where you can indicate if you want to join that. That will be added to the system. And then you can easily switch from your environment to that communities, so we can keep sharing already tips and tricks and what everybody's doing ongoingly, in addition to these seminars. So I think that's perfect timing, and we're a bit out of. We have planned an hour, right, Kalen, or not?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we have around 2 minutes. So I think some of the questions are still open to be answered. Let's keep this seminar open, guys, so everybody, all the participants have some time to read back the answers. We will share the presentation to all participants, so you can look it back in your own time. And of course, if you have any further questions regarding the at-home content or the video on demand, feel free to reach out to our sales or client success team, who can provide you with more information on that. So yeah, thanks again so much, Junior and Al, and everybody also joining here today. I think together we can overcome these difficult times, and it's really inspiring to see at least 2 entrepreneurs to be able to be so successful in coping with this. So I think a great inspiration for everybody. Thanks so much. Yes, protect your face.
Thanks again,
everybody.
guys. Stay healthy, everybody. Bye.